There are books that go beyond being works of literature. They become mirrors of the soul, guiding us into the deepest questions of life. The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho is one such masterpiece. When it was first published more than 2 decades ago in Brazil, the book drew little attention, and its original publisher even canceled the contract. Yet, Coelho never lost faith in the story. He firmly believed that within those pages lay his heart and soul. Slowly, through word of mouth, the book spread across the globe, translated into more than 80 languages, becoming the most translated book by a living author, and ultimately listed among the greatest works of the 20th century. What makes The Alchemist so extraordinary? It is not merely the adventure of a shepherd boy, but a spiritual journey that draws us into a world of omens, the universal language, dreams, and love. The story reminds us of a timeless truth. When you truly desire something, the entire universe conspires to help you achieve it. Many have compared the book to The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, because both are written in simple yet profound language, blending wisdom with wonder. And perhaps its greatest power lies here. The Alchemist does not just tell Santiago's story, it tells ours. Each of us is Santiago, still wandering in search of our own treasure. At the heart of The Alchemist is the story of Santiago, an ordinary shepherd with an extraordinary dream. He keeps having a recurring dream of hidden treasure buried near the Egyptian pyramids. His life changes when he encounters Melchizedek, the old king of Salem, who explains the concept of a personal legend, that unique destiny each of us is born with, the deepest longing of the heart. To fulfill it, said the king, is a person's only true obligation. And when you desire something wholeheartedly, the universe will conspire to help you achieve it. Armed with this conviction, Santiago abandons his flock and sets out on his journey. But the path to treasure is never smooth. In Tangier, he is deceived and loses all his money. Instead of surrendering to despair, he chooses to see himself not as a victim, but as an adventurer searching for treasure. He begins working in a crystal shop, where he learns about patience, the principle of favorability, or beginner's luck, and the silent language of omens. There, he also witnesses the sorrow of the shopkeeper who dreams of going to Mecca, but never dares to go. From that, Santiago realizes that it is better to set out and risk failure than to live in the prison of fear and regret. Crossing the desert, Santiago learns to understand the unspoken language of the world. He listens to his heart and discovers that the fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself. He realizes that everything, from grains of sand to human souls, is interconnected as part of the soul of the world. A camel driver teaches him that the history of each person is written by the same hand that writes the history of the universe. Strengthened by this knowledge, Santiago finds the courage to keep moving forward. Along the way, he meets Fatima at an oasis. Their love is not a chain, but a set of wings. Fatima understands that true love never prevents a man from pursuing his personal legend. It supports and waits. Santiago learns that love itself is part of the language of the world, one that everyone can understand with the heart. Later, under the guidance of the alchemist, Santiago faces his greatest challenge: to turn himself into the wind to save his life. This trial proves that he is fully united with the soul of the world, able to converse with nature itself. From that moment, he understands that we do not simply seek treasure for ourselves, but also contribute to nourishing the soul of the universe. Finally, after hardships and lessons, Santiago reaches the pyramids, only to discover that the treasure is not there. Ironically, it lies where his journey began, beneath the sycamore tree in the ruined church back in Spain. The circle completes itself. The message is clear. Treasure is not only gold or jewels, but lies in the journey itself. The experiences, lessons, and the transformation of one's soul. Throughout the book, Coelho enriches the narrative with symbolic tales. The story of Narcissus teaches that beauty lies not in the object itself, but in its reflection and perception. Melchizedek's parable of carrying oil in a spoon reminds us to admire the wonders of the world without forgetting our responsibilities. The tale of a Roman centurion emphasizes that every individual, no matter how small, plays a central role in the history of the world, even if he doesn't realize it. These stories expand the novel's meaning, turning Santiago's adventure into a universal allegory. What makes The Alchemist timeless is not just its captivating storyline, but the universal truth it conveys. Each person has a personal legend. To fulfill it requires courage, to leave the comfort zone, to embrace uncertainty, to listen to heart, and to trust that the universe will guide us. The true treasure is not simply material wealth, but the deep self-knowledge and inner strength we gain through trials. Life's difficulties are not obstacles, but stepping stones, forging us into stronger and wiser beings. Like Santiago, we only discover our treasure by daring to leave what is safe and familiar, by pursuing our dream no matter how impossible it seems. In our fast-paced, uncertain world, the alchemist remains a voice of clarity. Believe in your dreams, for they are the language the universe speaks through your soul. Live fully, for only when we follow the calling of our hearts can the world around us truly blossom. And if one day you find yourself lost, remember, sometimes the treasure is not in a distant land, but in the journey itself, in each step taken, in who you become along the way. So ask yourself, what is your personal legend? Do you have the courage to begin the journey, regardless of the risks? The answer can only be found when you dare to walk the path. Because perhaps at the end, you will not only discover your long-sought dream, but also the treasure of becoming a stronger, wiser, and more loving version of yourself.